I've applied for a job, but it is with Barcelona. Hello and welcome to Club 6 Part 8 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are away against Lugo and then also away against Barcelona, both in La Liga. Look at how many away games we've got in a row. I know several of them are friendlies because we've got the winter break coming up, but still, are they rebuilding our ground or something? That is utterly insane. Since you were last with me though, as you can see, we've had rather a good time of it. This friendly against Lincoln Red Imps is when we switched from the control possession system to the gegenpress in the last episode. We've been using the gegenpress ever since. It's fair to say it's had an impact. And that impact, the combination of switching the tactic plus obviously winning lots of games, has sorted out any kind of dressing room atmosphere problems we've had. The team is still only at good cohesion, but is playing as well as it is. And my managerial support is back up again. The reason I've been able to apply for the Barcelona job, though, is because, as you can see, they didn't follow us in the charge up the league. If you remember from last episode, we were one place above Barcelona, down at the bottom here, and we switched tactic. They didn't. They sacked their manager instead. So we've charged up the league. We're now well in contention for a Champions League spot again, 1 point outside of the Champions League spots, with a game in hand against a Lugo team that we've beaten twice recently. So fingers crossed, we should be heading to Barcelona already in a Champions League spot. And I'm going to then take that match as a bit of a job interview. I'm not the favourite for the job. The favourite for the job is Luis Enrique, who has been, what's he been up to since he managed them last? So he left them in 2017. Spain manager, Valencia manager, Juventus, Lazio and Napoli, where he was sacked from Napoli in the summer. Now, as far as I'm concerned, a guy who was sacked from Napoli after finishing 8th in Serie A should not be above me in the pecking order for a job at Barcelona. But clearly he is. What's his reputation? Let's have a look. Luis Enrique's reputation, 4-star. My reputation has gone up a half notch since I've been in Spain. When I was having all the trouble finding jobs that eventually led me to Sevilla, I was a 3-star manager. I'm now 3.5 stars, so I'm not miles behind Luis Enrique. I can now speak basic Spanish as well, which should stand me in good stead for a potential job at a big Spanish club. I'm not actually that bothered whether I get it or not, though, because I think we're now finally seeing the benefit of the good summer that we had, and I think we will finish in a Champions League spot this year, whereas Barcelona won't. So if I want to get back into the Champions League, I'll be there quicker as manager of Sevilla. In some other news, and I know this is completely irrelevant to what we're talking about, I was just looking through the game at some of my former players and noticed that Martin Kubic, the defender we signed for Fulham, is now playing for Paris Saint-Germain after they signed him from Fulham for £100 million 2 years ago now, and I've only just noticed. But he was a decent signing for Fulham, wasn't he? Signed him for less than £5 million, played there for 3 years, a £95 million profit. Fulham reinvesting that money, now 6th in the Premier League. So Fulham are doing all right. How's Garces doing these days? 25 years old. Perhaps he wasn't quite such a good signing. He never quite became the player we hoped he would be. But you can see we've still got a lot of them scouted. Still a good side. Still some of my players there. Mirabella, 27 now. 4 goals and 7 appearances for Italy. He was a good signing too. Good old Fulham. Right, have they got another per buy? They're obsessed. Is this one of the ones we had by mistake? Yeah, this is one we had on loan and didn't realise. They've actually spent money on him. They cannot live without a per buy over at Fulham. Right, let's go play Lugo. This is the team that we're putting out there. We've got Markovic in goal. A back four of Garcia, Sanya, Woodenberg and Bustos. In amongst this long unbeaten or long winning streak we've been on, Captain McCrory, he's been injured for most of it. He's had a hernia. So we've had a very makeshift defence at times because Sanya was injured for a little while too. So there was a good 2 or 3 games there where we were playing Woodenberg and Ventura as our 2 centre-backs. And they were doing okay. We seem to have fixed the defensive problems we had earlier on in the season. So Garcia, Sanya, Woodenberg and Bustos, Moreno, Mosca and Mateus in midfield. the 3M, the post-it note midfield. We'll call them. Goodness me. And then Garcia, Jovic, and Pozo as our front three. Let's get into the game. Like I say, we've played Lugo. Is that how you even say them? It feels wrong. We've played them twice fairly recently. We had a two-legged Spanish Cup game against them and we dominated them both times. So I would expect us to continue in that vein today. I fully expect you to go and win the match because I do. Let's get out there. Hopefully, put on a bit of a show. We've been in incredible form. I want you to see that incredible form in action because although Barcelona are having probably one of the worst periods in living memory for Barcelona, down in the bottom half of La Liga, closing in on the halfway point. They obviously have sacked the manager who's taken them down there. And when he was sacked, they were hovering outside, just outside the relegation zone. So whoever is caretaker manager at Barcelona has already started to turn them around and move them up to 14th place. So I am a little bit worried going to Barcelona just after they've sacked the manager. I would have rather have been there just before they sacked the manager and be the final nail in the coffin. I think we'd have had a very good chance then. Whereas there's every possibility they'll have appointed the new guy before we end up there. There's a week between this game and that one. It's almost certainly not going to be me. But I guess one way or the other, I'm showing you that match. Let's see who ends up managing Barcelona and who ends up managing Sevilla as part of it. Mateus has just put us 1-0 up from the edge of the area. His third goal of the season. Mosca played it out to Garcia. This is left-back version of Garcia, not left-winger version of Garcia. He plays it into left-winger version of Garcia. And Mateus scores. We need to start calling them by their first names, I think. Inaki and Eusebio are their first names, I think. And yeah, I can't have left back Garcia and left winger Garcia. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. I might make them put that on their shirts. That's a way to exert my authority over a team. You can't have your names, just your positions. Your position and your surname is plenty. Right, no complacency. That's what we're after here. Everyone seems relatively motivated. Interestingly, because we're on such a charge of consecutive wins, we're not a million miles away from the two teams who caused all that misery at the start of yesterday's episode. We've given away a penalty here, haven't we? I'm just talking about how we're in a title race and now we're going to give away an equaliser against Lugo, who are pretty much already relegated, and we've battered them twice. But because I've turned the camera on, it's 1-1 after 50 minutes, and we've got a little bit of a job to do. We're not really in a title race. We're not even going to finish in the Champions League spots. Let me have the lead back, please. Please. Drop back down to 4th place. We're still in a Champions League spot as it stands, but obviously a draw going into Barcelona away. That's not really what we're after. We want to take 8 consecutive wins or whatever it is to the new camp and have them fear us. Valentini can come on for Jovic, and we're going to bring Montero on for Pozo. Montero is one of many youngsters that we identified in the summer as someone to come in and become a part of the squad. He's not played very much. In fact, there you go, his La Liga debut. He's played a couple of times in the cup games and didn't look out of place as part of the team. Likewise, Rodriguez, the young right back, has played a few games for us as well. We're very much trying to get the youngsters involved in part of the team, partly because some of them are very close to being good enough, and partly because I fully acknowledge I'm probably not going to have much money to spend next summer because I spent my next 3 years transfer budget this summer. So we're kind of going to be forced to bring youngsters into the first team next year, and we may as well start identifying which ones they're going to be now. And I think Ventura, Rodriguez, Montero, they're the ones, Dominguez as well as a striker, these are the ones who are really pushing for those first team spots. And Valentini, last year's top scorer, has finally got a goal for this season. To be fair to him, he's not had much game time. He did have a little bit of a knock early on. Jovic obviously arrived and Dominguez was his reserve for a little while, but Valentini now back on the bench, back on the pitch, and has a goal, an assist for Montero as well on his debut. Happy days all round. Puts us back up to 3rd. 7 points off top of the table, Real Madrid, although they do still have a game in hand. But interestingly, only 3 points behind the Atletico Madrid team who beat us 5-0. And really, that was the catalyst for the tactical change. So we've got a lot to thank Atletico Madrid for, because if we'd have been just narrowly losing games, we might have been tempted to persist with what we were doing, but we were so comprehensively battered by them that I kind of felt like we had to switch things up. And you've got to credit the Gegenpress with what we've done over the last, 7 or 8 games. O'Neill is on, by the way, our wonder kid, and hopefully we don't give away a goal in these last couple of seconds. I think this makes it 8 consecutive wins. I'm sure we'll get an inbox announcement afterwards, because we were very close to breaking a club record for consecutive league wins, and it might even be a record that we've broken just now. There you go, we got away with that, but we were poor. We need to keep them on their toes going into the Barcelona game. We'll just check the inbox to see if we have broken the record. We haven't broken the record yet, but 7 league wins in a row. That is some good form to take into the Barcelona game. In fact, there you go. There's your confirmation that we have broken the consecutive wins record at Sevilla. It's including the cup games as well. But 9 wins in a row since we changed the tactic. And it's good news. Hopefully we make it 10 in a row against Barcelona. Maybe. I've never had a club like this offer me an interview before. Hello, Manu. How's it hanging? Some people might be concerned by your lack of experience managing this country. Manu, may I refer you to the league table? I believe I would counter that argument by saying my experience elsewhere more than makes up for it. Yeah, it does. You seem to have been at loggerheads with your current employers with regards to club philosophies. You what, Manu? What are you saying? Where's philosophies? I don't even know how to see the philosophies. Oh, there we go. We're disappointed with the number of young first-team players you've signed. Well, did we not sign a World Cup winning 19-year-old wonder kid? Is it because we've signed a few old men as well? I can't win. He's young. He's 20. He's 19. He's 20. The rest of them are fairly old, but still, bunch of idiots. Everyone's an idiot. How do I get back to the interview? Have I walked out to go and phone the board? There we go. I think the results on the pitch yeah, I think they do. With your team currently defying expectations in the league and in the middle of a good run of form, are you perhaps looking to take advantage whilst your stock is at its highest? For goodness sake, Manu, look at the Bundesliga, look at the Premier League, look at every club we've managed, apart from Bristol Rovers. For 10 years, I've consistently been in a good run of form and defying expectations. Yeah, I've done a good job there. Why have you felt acceptable? Oh, because I've been a manager for years, you numbskull. You've previously been embroiled in media controversies. That's nonsense. That was Bristol Rovers. It was so long ago. It was a long time ago. We parted company with our last manager. Well, you did sack him. I have a proven track record of spending a considerable time in a job, he says, after less than a year at Sevilla. Yeah. Yes, I don't mind having a director of football. I don't need to bring any staff with me. I haven't really got any friends. Sign young players for the first team. Okay. We'll do that if that's the one thing that you like. We don't need any other philosophies. Managing Barcelona with those budgets and the expectation of a mid-table finish. Yeah, I might be able to manage that. Thanks. I should probably have said higher, but I don't want to go there and then get sacked. A transfer budget. I mean, hang on. You're Barcelona. What the hell is this? Yeah, that's fine. Just give me the job, because that is very pleasant. I think I'll probably be okay. Well, let's see. Am I favourite for the job now? No, Luis Enrique's still going to get it. We play them in a couple of days' time. Which team am I going to be managing? Nobody knows. Well, it's match day and the phone hasn't rung. I have packed a suitcase and brought it with me, though, in case I'm not going home afterwards. We're unchanged, and I'm considering this job interview part 2. Surely, if we come here and beat them, then they're going to give me the job to make sure it never, ever happens again. Oh, my word. I want you to ignore the recent praise in the media, just play your natural game. No, I want you to... Yeah, actually, I do want you to do that. No impact whatsoever. If I was the Sevilla board and I knew everything that had gone on this week, which presumably they do, they've offered me talks to stay at the club, which I declined. So they know I've been for an interview at Barcelona. They know Barcelona haven't yet offered any jobs out. There is not a chance, if I'm chairman of Sevilla, that I'm letting me be in charge of this game today. I would be suspending me, at least for this match. Just say, no, you stay at home. I don't want you throwing the match. I don't want you hanging out anywhere near Barcelona. You stay at home. If you end up not going there, you've done a good job. You can come back next week. But I think I would definitely suspend myself. But apparently, the Sevilla board love me, and they don't want to do that. And we are 1-0 up through Mateus. And what a goal it is. His 4th for the season. It's left back Garcia, plays it into Mosca. Mosca just slides it across to Mateus. First time, bang. Barcelona 0, Sevilla 1, 33 minutes on the clock. And they're all disinterested. I've ruined them. They can't cope with it. They, shall I go between the two dressing rooms at half time? Changing rooms, Kev. It's not a play. Shall I go between the two changing rooms at half time and just hang out with both of them and see if I can motivate both teams? Just say, call the board and say, look, Barcelona board man, what was your name? Nuno? That probably wasn't his name. Come watch. I'm going to manage both teams for the second half. You see what I can do. Right. I mean, why doesn't he come down and offer me the job now? Have I not done enough? I know I'm not going to get the job there, by the way, before you all tell me in the comments. I am aware they're not going to give me the job. But this is fun. Don't get complacent. It worked in the last game so much. Right. Barcelona just keeping hold of the ball, doing Barcelona things. They've not had a shot in that first half. Imagine 92,000 people. There's only 700 Sevilla fans here. It is literally 92,000 people who are just going to be booing constantly. What do I have to do to get them to start chanting my name? We want Kev. We want Kev. What's the Spanish version of that? No one knows, see? But they've not even had a shot. They're going to score now, I guess. And oh my word, Markovic makes the save. And then Bustos just trying to absolutely stitch him up, but they get away with it. And it's Pozo running clear and apparently not clear enough to justify continuing the rest of the highlight. And now it's Barcelona on the attack again, but Pozo is the one to break free with it again and again, loses out on the ball. And Barcelona now building from the back. Can we get a tackle in? We probably need to, because they look like a different team in this second half. Yikes. That was a bit of an audacious effort from miles away. Does he not realise they'd had a shot now early in the first half? He didn't need to get one on the board. Espanyol are 5th in the league with a negative goal difference, by the way. I've just noticed that. That's a weird situation. I've not seen that before. I probably have. I've probably been that before. Right, changes. Garcia hasn't played well at all, which is weird because of all these Sevilla players, he's the one most likely to come with me if I go because he is the young, exciting talent. Jovic also hasn't played very well. We're going to get young Asia Alvarez on with 20 minutes to go. If you forget who he is, I signed him in the summer. And he's been scoring goals for fun for our B team. So he's been drafted into the first team squad. And imagine if he goes and scores a goal against Barcelona. Perhaps we'll have our new superstar striker. And his name is Alvarez, maybe. I mean, we don't know his name. We know his name's Alvarez. We don't know he's our new superstar striker. Real Madrid are bottling something somewhere because the gap is only 5 points between us and them now. I might turn the Barcelona job down if they offer it to me. Pozo can come off. Lorenzo has played a few games out on that right wing. He's another one of the youngsters. We've got so many good youth. Genuinely makes me think maybe I would turn it down because there's so many good youngsters, and he is another one. He can play the final 10 minutes. We've got a couple of kids and an Italian striker out on the wing up front for the last 10 minutes, and we're still beating Barcelona. They are trying to break free here, though. What's happened there? Have we won a penalty? The suspicions of handball, I think. We're going over to the little telly. It's the 88th minute. If we can get a penalty here, I mean, there's not been much in the way of shots from either team in this match. It's been a bit of a nothing game. I'd like to think we've successfully cancelled them out. Have we won a penalty, though? The offence happened outside the box, free kick. Well, I guess at least it went in our favour, but it can only be just outside the box, surely. Oh my word. Right, Mosca with the free kick. He does the right thing and just whacks it across the 6-yard box. but the deflection on the ball doesn't take it goalwards. It ends up taking it clear. And we've now got seconds to go. Moscow's got a corner. And as long as we don't concede a goal from a counter-attack here, we've beaten Barcelona at the Nou Camp. Are they going to offer me the job in the car park after the game? That's surely the right thing to do in these circumstances, because nobody can argue now at this point we're in a title race. And I think that should show my managerial nous. They want someone to take them from a relegation battle back up to challenging. I've proven I can do that in 2 different countries now, plus doing well with Fulham. Surely I'm the man. Right. Normally I would end the episode right here, but I just want to see if there's a job offer in my inbox. I don't think there is one. No. Sevilla show class to upstage Barcelona. Are my favourite for the job yet? No. Although his odds have lengthened slightly. Maybe off the back of that result. Who knows? But we will wrap it up there. Obviously, if I do get offered the Barcelona job in the meantime, we will come straight back with another episode. We could still be doing Barcelona-Sevilla from the other side, because we've got a Copa del Rey fifth round 2-legged affair coming up. But assuming I don't get the job, which is still the assumption I'm working under, I'm going to take us all the way through to the end of the transfer window now. So we'll be back in the next episode, probably with either Valencia and Bilbao, which was the 2 we did at the start of the season, or maybe we'll go straight through to Bilbao and Real Sociedad. So if you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.